Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with the blog to watch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Epson ProSense 367 GPS multi-sport watch. In black, Epson calls this a luxury GPS multi-sport watch with wrist-based heart rate and long battery life. And don't forget, it also has GPS. I'll throw that in there one more time. This is yet another flavor of what I call smartwatch or smarter activity watch. This one definitely has Bluetooth. It definitely connects to your phone. If you want notifications, you can do that. But this is one of many specifically exercise, or I'll call it activity-oriented smartwatches that I've been reviewing lately. And I've gone through a lot of them. I've gone through Garmin, Suunto, Casio, and now Epson. And Epson is the same company as Seiko. Well, they have a complicated corporate structure that I've never quite understood, even though I sat through a lengthy PowerPoint presentation about it. But suffice it to say, this is sort of from the people that bring you Seiko, but not really, but kind of yes. So this watch is meant to be the one that is reliable, is very specific for its purposes in terms of being for activities, has a few things better than other watches. Other watches do a few things better than this. So I'll try to explain to you where I think Epson gets it right better than others. So again, you have to ask yourself, what is this watch meant for? This is for exercise enthusiasts that want to track their workout, especially the distance they've gone, and want to know their heart rate. So it has a heart rate sensor built into it. I actually wrote about this watch when it was just sort of released at the FCC, and we only saw the back of it, and we had to guess what it was. And I thought when it came to America, it would be Seiko branded because it says Seiko Epson, and I've never actually seen an Epson watch in the United States. But now they're here, and why it wants to be under the Epson brand versus the Seiko brand, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. The screen is it's sort of like e-ink in the sense that I don't think it is ink, but it's ink in the sense that it needs to refresh itself. It's a low power screen, and one of sort of the claims to fame of this watch is that it's a fully featured GPS watch with 46 hours of power, which is more than double or triple that of some others. For example, the Garmin Fenix with the GPS running full time, it's like maybe half a day. So this one, again, has a lot of little tricks in order to keep the power consumption down, such as having this type of screen. There is a backlight, and what I really like about this watch is when you lift it up, I might have to be wearing it on the wrist, but the backlight goes on. There we go, it just went on, so that you can read it in the dark easily enough. But this is, like I said, a very high contrast screen. In terms of features, it's pretty limited actually, because again, it's trying to be very specific. It does track things like steps and anticipates calories and things like that based upon your workout. It has some basic alarms, chronograph features, but this is not what I would call sort of a full-featured watch in the sense that you would expect other digital watches to be. Here it's trying to locate GPS. It's probably not going to find it because I'm indoors. You can see that even though the screen is monochromatic and basic, it's very easy to see. There's 5 buttons here, and I like the buttons because when you push them down, you have to push them sort of twice to make sure you really get it. And the screens are intuitive and interesting, and they definitely make sense here. I haven't actually taken this one to exercise yet, but ostensibly you have to sort of tell it what you're doing, and then it'll track your workout like most of the other similar timepieces. In terms of customization, there's like 4 watch dials. None of them are particularly interesting. This is actually the most interesting one, and there's only one field which is customizable. By the way, the silicone straps do come with a quick release. I'll show, just to remind you, quick release, so that you can put your own strap on there. This strap is fine, but again, it's not going to be the most stylish one for everyone. It's silicone. So let's put it on. It's not too terribly big, and because it is sort of this polymer material, the case is very, very light. You can see there that it's not the smallest one, but it's definitely not the largest of the smartwatches out there, especially the fitness ones. And in terms of it being light, it's very, very light, which I think you'll appreciate. There's a sort of friendly minimalism to the watch. There's a simplicity that I think is welcoming. I've used a lot of these fitness watches that are frankly intimidating for most people. There's a learning curve for me. And I think for a lot of other people that see the level of features and the things you have to do, they just back off. There's just very simple to understand buttons here. Yes, of course, there's going to be a learning curve, but it's really not that big of a deal. So you can see down here, this field right here is customizable, and this particular setting is where it tells you your heart rate kind of all the time. So it updates your heart rate on a regular basis, and you can see there that that sort of flash means it's refreshing. I would really love it if Epson through the app allowed you to download more faces. Like I said, there's 2 digital ones and 2 analog ones. The analog ones are not particularly inspired. The digital ones are like this. Very functional, very useful, not a huge amount of character. That's not exactly what this watch is going for. The 367 with that lovely name. But what it makes up for, and I guess you could say style and character, it really makes up for a lot in durability as well as overall functionality. It's water resistant to 100 meters. I don't know if it's per se rated as a swimming watch, but you definitely can swim with it. There's a nice clip style charging cable. Let me go grab that for you. It's just right over here on the table. I mention that because other than Garmin, I haven't seen anyone have a clip style charging cable, which is really weird. They're usually magnetic. So here you have this clip, which is great. And the reason that a clip is good is because you can put this watch to charge in a bag. Let's say you're on your way to some activity or workout that you want. Oh my God, I forgot to charge my watch. You can attach this to any USB charger, charge your watch in the car, and you'll probably have more than enough battery life for whatever you're doing, or if you're running whatever and your battery dies and you have a charger for your phone, that's great. But Epson does not include an AC adapter, just USB, which, you know, I get it. People probably have a ton of those, but just include it anyways. It just makes people feel that much better about it, and they don't need to take up yet another valuable USB spot. I love to put this watch on because it is really comfortable. You know, I'm trying to find that perfect mix of a casual sports smartwatch, because sometimes you wear these and you kind of get upset. Like, unless I'm actually working out, I feel like most of the features are being wasted. This one, again, it sort of natively tracks kind of what you're doing, heart rate, calories, distance. I have to spend a little bit more time with it to see how well it does that. Of course, you can set it to work out. So if you are someone that just wants to track your workouts, the time, your heart rate, and use the GPS and accelerometer to know other things like your steps, this is a great, simple solution. It's not the most expensive, it's not the cheapest, but it's well made, and it comes from a brand that I trust and I know to do those things well. It's definitely a watch that's in an increasingly crowded market, but again, with a high contrast display, long battery life, relatively easy to use, clever and efficient feature set. The Epson 367 GPS multi-sport watch, the ProSense 367 that is going to be a good fit for a lot of consumers. Price, and this is the highest end model, is $399, and you can see the full review on a Blog to Watch. Thanks.